Bring your hands together in prayer at the heart. And open our practice and time together by chanting Om 3 times. And then we'll stand for body tapping and body shaking. Take a full breath in. Full breath out through open mouth. To discharge, to release. Another full breath in through your nose to prepare. Oh. Full breath in. Oh. Full breath in. Oh. Namaste. And welcome, yogis. So we're going to rise immediately to our feet. We're going to come into body shaking and body tapping. And then we'll be coming to the earth. So let's start by body shaking. So let's start by shaking one foot. So just really shaking that foot so that the ankle is relaxed, shaking it through, and then allow that vibration and that movement to travel up the length of your leg. And so that you have a loose at your hip here, as shake as you can. Right, let's move on to the other leg. So again, start with the foot and the ankle, and then allow the movement to spread all the way up the length of your leg to your hip. So shaking is a way of releasing tension, helps us to release. So let's just shake through both legs again. Now let's start by shaking the hands at the wrist. There you can hear my stones. Now let's move the movement long into our elbow or shoulder. And now let's bring some shaking into the legs, the arms. You might have to alternate your legs to keep that balance. And then maybe you can start shaking all the way through your hips, your upper body. So just really shake it out. And you will be wobbling. So you allow them to just shake and wobble. You see, I'm not shy about the wobbling at all. Right, when we're done and we're satisfied. Oh, yeah, that's good. Right, let's now move on to some body tapping. So create a little fist. Let's start with the right hand first and we'll work down the left arm. So remember, with yin, there are two sides, meridians, the receptive energy and then the yang, which is the dynamic heating action energy. And the yin energy runs along the inside of our body. So the places that are cool, dark are protected, and the yang energy runs along the outsides of our body, which are more outward facing, which engage with the world more. So creating your wrist, let's start at the shoulder here. So let's just tongue meridian begin. So we'll start rib. We'll start the tapping at the clavicle. And then let's spend some time on the shoulder. Let's tap all the way along the inside of our arm. So the lung meridian is the yin aspect of this pair. So let's tap down, pausing again at the inside of the elbow, down to the wrist, pausing at the elbow, and tapping a few times there. I'm going to take this all the way to the thumb. And we're at the thumb. Let's turn our hand and go to the index finger. And let's travel up the outside of our hand to our wrist, the outside of our arm, up towards the elbow, so the side of the elbow here. Let's pause again there. So where the places we pause, there tend to be meridian points, acupressure points, marma points, up the outside, to the shoulder, and back to the collarbone. So that's the large intestine, which is the yang of this pair. The large intestine connects with releasing sadness. The lung meridian connects with releasing grief. Let's go to our armpit now. So we're working with a heart meridian here. And again, traveling along the inside of the arm. So the heart meridian is the yin. And this releases and invites and cultivates and offers up joy to the world. So traveling again and pausing at those points. And now we're going to travel all the way to the little finger. Turning your hand so you're on the outside of the little finger. We're now marrying up the pair. This is the small intestine, works in partnership with the heart. And this is vitality, which is cultivated here. So let's travel along the outside, the outer edge of the arm, all the way up to the shoulder and then back to the intestine here, and our armpit. So small. Storm-like weather we've got here in London. So it might be interfering with our technical issues. We'll carry on regardless. So tapping here now, clavicle to the shoulder. So this is the lung. And then here, traveling along the inside of the arm. Pausing at those places around the elbow. Remember, this releases grief, sadness. We're going to travel to the thumb. So the lung meridian starts at the rib and ends at the thumb. It's an upper body one. Let's flip our hand, go to the index and travel along the outside of the arm. Get the large intestine. It's connected to sadness. So grief and sadness with these two meridians. Traveling along the outside back to the shoulder and the clavicle. And this starts at the index and ends in the corner of the ear, corner of the eye rather. Now let's go back to the armpit, the heart meridian, traveling along the inside of the arm, cultivating joy, to the little finger, from the little finger to the outside of the arm, the small intestine, again pausing at the elbows and wrists, along the shoulder, finish up the armpit again. And now go slightly lower down to the side chest here for the pericardium. And then travel under the armpit along the inside of the arm. Oh, beginning to feel quite a lot of heat here. We're going to travel all the way to the middle finger with the pericardium, tracing the pericardium. Now let's flip our hand and let's travel from the ring finger, the triple heater, along the outside of the arm. This is again the pair connected with low mood, depression, kindness, and compassion. And then back to where we started. So that's our upper body. Now let's just tap along the sternum here, the heart center. I'm going to my fingers here because it feels a bit gentler than the folded knuckles. Now just along your abdomen here. So the sides of the abdomen. So this is where we have the kidney, the stomach, the gallbladder, the liver, sort of zigzagging along the abdomen. So let's just tap in and out of the abdomen and we'll hit different meridian points here. And then go to your lower back. I'm making a lot of noise with my bangles. Lower back for the kidneys, then your buttocks. Definitely making a lot of slapping noise here. And now let's travel down the leg. So we're going to travel down the inside of the leg first for the liver meridian. So let's travel down the inside of the leg. I might just take that off. It's getting a bit loud. Travel down the inside of the leg. And again, pause at the knee. So the liver is connected to the emotion of anger. We're going to travel all the way down the inside of the leg, maybe pausing just above the ankle, and travel along the foot to the big toe. And then from here, let's go down that fourth toe along the outside of the leg, the gallbladder, which is paired with the meridian. So the gallbladder is the yang, the liver is the yin. Again, pausing at your knee, all the way up. coming up to the hips, maybe up to the side body here. This is courage cultivated by gallbladder. Now let's travel down the front of our front. So when I'm saying front, I mean the front, but the inside of the front. So the liver is right on the inside. The spleen runs parallel. It's kind of on the, if your legs are particularly generous like mine, it'll be just along the inside of that seam of your leggings. So it's not quite the front and it's not quite the side. It's that sort of place along there. So traveling all the way down for the spleen to the big toe again. This is stimulating empathy. And then let's travel from the second toe along the front of the leg. So up along the shin, the knee, thighs. And then let's come up all the way to the abdomen area here. So the front of the abdomen for the stomach. This is connected to releasing anxiety. We're nearly there. We're going to travel down the inside of the leg again for the kidney. All the way down. And we're going to maybe come to the, so maybe if you can get to the, turn your foot onto the outer edges so you can just tap the inside of the foot or the sort of sole of the foot. And then let's travel along the back of the leg this time. So for the bladder. And this cultivates and releases fear. So if you're holding fear, this is where the fear will be held. So the kidney is releasing, is cultivating contemplation and reflection. And then the bladder is for releasing fear. So once we are able to contemplate, reflect and see our fear and where that fear is being held and how we have come to hold it, we can begin to release it. Travel all the way along the back buttock, back body here to the back of your lower back. And then we're done. Full body shake, full body tap. So let's shake it out. I've created a lot of heat in my body as I do. And then we're going to dangle here. So let's come with your feet hip distance wide. Have a deep bend in your knees to start with. And then fold forward from your hips. So really hinging at the hips. And allow your crown to draw down towards the earth. Feeling lengthening along the back of your legs, lifting your tailbone here. And then relax your upper body. You can always take hold of opposite elbows so that your hands are not dangling, but you can hold on to something. Another alternative is to come into dangling at the wall. So back up towards the wall. Let me just tie my hair so you can see me. So back up against the wall with your buttocks pressed against the wall, tailbone reaching up, and then walk your heels towards the wall. And this might give you a little deeper fold forward in dangling. Have a bend in your knees, so that bend can be gentle or it can be a deep bend. I'm going to be here for 2 minutes. So from the body tapping, you become really familiar with where the meridian pathways are running. So meridians are the channels along which chi or energy flows. And each of these meridians, are, so apart from the triple heater, are associated with an organ. And those organ functions connect to emotions. And the flow of chi governs how we feel in those emotions, whether we have a sense of being connected and balanced in emotions, or whether we have a sense of being obstructed or blocked or out of balance with those emotions, and also physiological functions. So here we know that along the back of the legs is the kidney meridian. So the inside of the legs is the kidney and the back of the legs is the urinary bladder rather. But here, as we're folding forward, we feel a release in our lower back where the kidneys are housed. 3 more breaths here. We're going to come into a toe squat from here. So bend deeply into your knees and bring your fingertips to the earth to help steady you and stabilize you. And then rise up onto the balls of your feet so that you can come into a toe squat here. Keep your fingers steady on the earth. If it's reaching for the earth feels really uncomfortable, you can always use your blocks here. So you're literally sitting on your heels. We won't be here for long. So again, we know that the toes, meridians end in the toes. So we have the big toe for the liver and the spleen. We have the 4th toe for the gallbladder, stomach at the 2nd toe. The kidney is at the sole of the foot. And the urinary bladder with a little toe. We're not here for long. If that feels too uncomfortable, balancing feels too uncomfortable, you can always sit on your pillow or your bolster, so that the weight of your body is on your sit bones, and then bend into the balls of your feet there, so that you're still putting weight onto the balls of your feet and your heels are lifted, but you're supported on a bolster. So that is an alternative. I should have offered that to you at the outset. One more breath here. And then we're going to come on to our hands and onto our knees. Let those. I just want you to flap the tops of your feet on the earth. So you can do them at the same time, or you can tap them alternatively. Let's take a moment here. We're going to move into ankle stretch, just another short ankle stretch. So let's sit back towards our sit bones. If your knees feel uncomfortable, you can always place your blanket underneath your knees. Alternatively, you can roll your blanket and place it between your sit bones and your lower legs, the back of the knees there. That's an alternative. If your feet feel uncomfortable on the earth, again, you can place your rolled up blankets. We don't need a big roll. Ankles, the inside of the ankles feel uncomfortable. Roll up your blanket and just place it directly underneath the inside of your ankles there. Hands on the earth. Walk your hands back towards your body and then engage your core and then lift your knees off the earth so that you are pressing into the tops of your feet, lifting the inside of your ankles up. So you might be quite high up with your knees or low. And if it feels uncomfortable, another alternative is to create a little, if you had a couple of your cushions or pillows, you can always place your knees on the pillows and then rest your forearms on your bolsters so that you are still having an ankle stretch experience, but the weight of your body is not shifting back onto your feet. The weight of your body is still fairly forward and supported on your bolster or pillows with your knees and your forearms and elbows on a bolster. And I'm still getting an ankle stretch here. 3 more breaths here in your ankle stretch. And then we're going to release down to earth, come up onto our knees. We're going to move directly into melting heart. And we're going to do half melting heart. Have your cushions or blanket ready so that you can perhaps place a cushion or a folded blanket. I'll fold my blanket here underneath your heart space so that your heart space can rest on your blanket or your bolster. Let's bring our elbows down to the earth. We're directly underneath our shoulders. And then let's walk, fold your in, and then place that or cushion or bolster directly underneath your heart space. And then crawl the left arm away. So stretch the left arm away. Bring your eyebrow center to rest on your folded right arm. So the right arm is folded. You're using that as a pillow for your eyebrow center. Your left arm is extended long. Your heart space on a bolster, pillow, or cushion. Yogi's choice. The higher, if your heart space is a long way from the earth, then use a larger pillow or bolster. Keep extending and reaching out through that left arm. And then soften. So create length along the side of your body. So remember, along the abdomen, we have sides of the abdomen. We have our liver and gallbladder zigzagging. Here we're working under our armpit. Lengthening by extending our arm. We're working on the heart meridian, the pericardium. Three more breaths here. And then we're going to lift our head ever so gently, fold in the left arm, and then extend our right arm. So we switch arms here. And again, you use the left arm as a pillow for your eyebrow center. Your heart space is either hovering off the earth or it's resting on mat, on blocks, bolsters, cushions, whatever you choose and have available. And of course, you can practice yin without any props. To come into this in yin, remembering the pathway of the meridians, traversing different parts of the body, the upper body, the full length of the body. Release of an emotion or a cultivation of an emotion. So for the heart and for this anahat, this melting heart, we're cultivating joy. We're lifting the mood. We're stimulating kindness and compassion. The triple hitters, kindness and compassion. Pericardium is connected to low mood or depression, so we're balancing that out and counteracting joy with the heart meridian. One more breath here. And then let's lift your gaze and walk your arm back towards you. I have a dog who's getting quite excited here. And then bring the elbows again directly underneath your shoulder and walk your knees away so that we come into Sphinx Pose. So Sphinx Pose, arms are parallel, fingers are spread wide. Your big toes are connected with the earth. Your feet can be wide or your feet can be together. Gaze off into the horizon, so your drishti is somewhere parallel to your eyes. Or you can soften the back of your neck and gaze down towards the earth. You also have the option of placing a cushion or a block underneath your eyebrow center. So you don't have to be lifted with your gaze. You can be lowered and supported. And again, we're here now, thinking about what's connecting with the earth here. So the front of our legs, along which the stomach meridian runs. We can feel this in our lower back, so we can feel it where the organ of kidneys are. So this is a great one for flushing out and detoxing. That big toe connecting with the earth. So remember, we're stimulating the meridians, that end in the big toe. Not here for long. And you have the option of staying in Sphinx or taking your arms a little bit wider apart, perhaps as wide as your mat. Extend your arms long here and then lift your heart space so that you come into a seal variation. So this is a yogi's choice. You can stay in Sphinx with your forearms connected to the earth, or you can press into your hands and lift your arms so that your arms are extended. Take your arms as wide as you need. This is an intense kidney area in particular. You keep the intensity by resting your sternum on a bolster, so that again you have a little bit of support here. So this can be your variation with seal, is to use your pillows or bolster. So we have the bladder that travels the full length of the back. We have the kidney that travels the full length of the front and the inside of the leg. We have the stomach that travels the full length of the front of the body. We have the spleen that travels the full length of the front of the body. The liver, the gallbladder travels along the length of the side of the body and the outside of the legs. From seal or Sphinx, whichever variation you're in, we're going to remove our bolster or pillow and then take our elbows out to the side of our mat, hands on top of each other. Rest your eyebrow center on the back of your hand, coming into crocodile. So this will release that experience we're having in our lower back. Again, the full our body is bodied here, this beneath you. Allows you to have a sense of your entire body. Bring your awareness into the places of connection between you and the ground. I invite you to bend into your knees and lift your toes up. Also have the option here of waving your legs from side to side so that your windshield wiping the feet and lower legs. Even circling, so moving from the knee one way and then the other. And that will really challenge you. Challenge your thinking. Now let's release the knees to the earth and come up onto our forearms, and we're going to go directly onto our knees and come back into hero pose for a moment. So you're sitting on your heels. Again, pad what you need. Remember, you can draw on your blankets, your cushions, So underneath the knees, backs of knees, underneath the inside of the ankles. We're not here for long. This is a transition. We're going to transition from here into half saddle pose. So keeping one leg folded underneath you. Release the left leg long. And then bring the sit bone, so that left buttock in particular, to the earth. See how your right leg feels folded here. If it doesn't feel good, so an option is, so you can see here, if you've got one leg folded, you can always place a pillow or a cushion underneath that, the left buttock, so that you've given more space for that folded leg. I should turn around so you can see me. So I have the folded blanket underneath my left buttock to help lift that seat and create more space here for this folded right leg. Saddle pose, half saddle. If your knee does not feel at all safe here because you have knee issues, what I would advise you to do is to bring the sole of your foot to the earth and then hug your knee and still keep that bending your knees. And then you'll probably need to sit on something so both buttocks are in here. So just fold the knee here. So again, you're still creating some experience along the front of your knee, but it's not as intense as having it folded underneath you. Option here now, we're going to give you sort of graduated options. You have the option of placing your hands on the earth behind you so that you're shifting your back. You also have the option of placing your hands on a bolster or a pillow behind you. You can come onto your forearms. So your forearms can be on a bolster. Or your forearms to the earth. If you have and you can then feel this sensation along the right calf. If you have your knee folded foot flat on the earth, simply into the front of your leg. But if you tuck it in, then that's where you will feel the sensation. If you want to intensify the sensation, or stay with the sensation where it is. And if you feel really comfortable here, you come to the earth. But for me, that feels too intense for my thigh, so I'm going to stay on my forearms. So you know that here along the front is the stomach. Along the back is the urinary bladder. So both these organs, the functions of these organs are elimination, release, letting go. Cleansing for the urinary bladder and digestion for the stomach organs. Those are organ functions. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. And then move with care. So if your forearms are on the earth, inhale, using your hands, begin to lift yourself up to come up, right? And then let's release the right leg long. Maybe leave it there for a moment. Flex that right foot. So bring the toes in towards you. So that will really kind of counteract the sensation that you've had in that leg. I'm going to fold in the left leg now. So again, you have the option of staying here with a more accessible variation, or you fold your leg in so that the heel comes towards your left buttock. And again, if you want to stay upright rather than going back, can always place a cushion or a pillow underneath your right buttock, so that gives you a little bit more height and gives you more space for the left leg that's folded in. And then, as you wish, you can begin to lean back in your hands. Come onto your forearms, come onto your bolster. So if you want to lie down, and like me, if it feels too intense to lie down on the earth, you can always lie down here with your bolster underneath your upper back. I'm going to place a pillow so that my head is on a pillow behind me. So these dogs don't give me much space sometimes. So you're in different places for your half saddle on the left side. You'll be having your foot on the earth, leg folded in towards your body, and you're seated. Or you'll have your leg folded underneath you, seated. You might be leaning back onto your hands, onto your forearms, onto a bolster or a large pillow. You might be reclined, and again, like me, you might be supported by a bolster underneath your upper body. Finding the intensity that you wish to experience and no more, coming to your appropriate edge. One more breath here. Whichever variation you're in. And then with helping hands, coming up mindfully and slowly. And then when you're up, release that left leg with care. Extend it long. Flex those toes in towards you to release that leg. The sensations from that leg. We're going to move from here into Pigeon Pose. So let's swing our legs round. And let's come into Child's Pose for a moment. And reach your arms long. Lifting your gaze. Let's begin to move that right knee up towards the right wrist, the right hand. So you can thread that right knee past your right hand. Right next to the right hand. Come on the right buttock. Adjust that right leg to the angle that feels sustainable for you. And then roll back off that right buttock onto the front of the left leg. Keep that left leg reaching behind you. Stay on your hands for the moment. So in swan here. If you're happy here, you can stay here. You can always place a pillow or a block underneath that right buttock. Connect with something if it's lifted off the forward, hinging from the hips. And the eyebrow center comes to the earth, or a cushion or a folded blanket, or the backs of your hands. Your arms can be folded as mine, so the elbows are out towards the outer edges, or your arms can be extended long. Again, here in pigeon or swan, sleeping swan, as it's also known. Think about the connection of those whole body meridians, the gallbladder and the liver. the stomach and the spleen, the kidney and the bladder, which travel the full length of your body. Three more breaths here in Sleeping Swan. Then inhaling, rise with your breath. And let's roll onto our right sit bone. And then bring in that left foot so it meets the right foot in butterfly. So your soles of your feet can be together. Another option for your feet is you can place a folded blanket or a cushion and have the soles of your feet resting on the folded blanket or cushion. And then open up your feet as if you're opening up a book. So the outer little toe sides are connected and you're opening up the big toe side. And take your thumb to the middle of your foot and press gently there. So it's that space that's below the pad of the foot. And you'll feel quite a tender spot there. And then squeeze gently here. So we know that the kidney meridian ends here at the sole of the foot. A little massage there. And then when you're ready, let's hinge forward and fold in butterfly here. So your feet don't have to be on a cushion. They may be directly on the earth. You want to use your bolster, you can always use your bolster here. So mindful here how the lung meridian runs along the inside of your leg. The gallbladder runs alongside the outside. The liver along the, not the lung, I meant the liver. Lung runs alongside your arms. So the liver runs along the inside of your leg, gallbladder along the outside. The spleen is parallel to the liver. The stomach along the front of the leg. Let's have 3 more breaths here. Then inhale to lift your gaze. Walk your hands back towards your body. And let's roll onto the left sit bone and reach out long with our right leg and turn over onto our left leg. So our left knee is now still bent. So we're going to sort of transition, keep that left knee bent from your butterfly and then roll onto the front of your right leg. So you should be positioned here for your pigeon or sleeping swan. You can always adjust that left foot to the angle you want and then roll back onto the right leg. And then when you're ready, let's fold forward down towards the earth. Eyebrow center connects with the earth, a cushion or a blanket. Arms can be extended. Have a softness in your arms and shoulders. Feel the connection between your big toe and the earth. This whole body practice is a series of 2. This is series part 1 and we'll do whole body practice 2 next week. Again, working with these whole body meridians. Some of these, pigeon in particular, or sleeping swan, is particularly challenging. You can release anxiety, anger, or fear in sleeping swan. So the liver, the kidney, the stomach, the bladder rather than the kidney. But likewise, you can cultivate contemplation, empathy, courage. So when those pairs of meridians work together for the whole body, there's a cultivation of the qualities that will counterbalance some of those stronger, deeply held emotions, which we can release and let go. So by releasing those emotions, we're not infiltrating our body with those emotions. We're allowing those emotions to bubble up and then to rise to the surface and dissipate. One more breath here in sleeping swan on the left side. Inhale, lift your eyebrows center and walk your hands back towards you. Roll onto your left sit bone here. And then again, let's bring in that right foot to meet the left foot. Back into butterfly. Let's take a moment here. And again, press the sole of your foot. Maybe you rub and then pull each toe in turn. So paying some attention here to the part of our body that connects with the earth, that carries us. And then lengthen and hinge forward. And this time, let's interlace our fingers between the toes. And again, your feet can be directly on the earth, or you can have them lifted onto a cushion or a pillow. One more full breath here. Inhale to rise up. And let's come onto our backs from here. So if you want to pad the mat with a blanket, you can pad it for extra comfort. And let's lower directly onto our backs here. Let's hug in your right leg. Squeeze it in towards your abdomen. Taking your left hand to the outside of your right leg, let's roll onto your left hip, coming into a supine twist. Have the connection between the right shoulder and the earth as much as you can. You don't need to connect with it, but you're intending that shoulder to reach towards the earth. The left hand can stay resting on the outside of your right leg. Supine twist. Option to stay here or bend into your left leg and take hold of the left foot with your right hand. Cat's tail. I wrap my peace fingers around my big toe. You can take hold of the foot, or you can have that leg extended, yogi's choice. So supine twist or a cat's tail variation here. You can gaze up towards the ceiling, close your eyes. So here we really are wringing out. So rinsing our body, sort of corkscrew effect, especially if we're in cat's tail, supine twist. So that sense of release and letting go. One more breath here. Then if you have your left leg folded with your right hand on your left foot, release that left foot, extend the left leg long, and then let's roll onto our backs and hug in the right knee again. And let's take hold of the outside edge of the right foot and take the sole of that foot towards the sky, bending deeply into that right knee. So you come into half happy baby. Your left hand can be on your left, top of your left leg to hold that leg down. The right foot is lifted with the sole of the foot towards the sky. There's a deep bend in your knee. So bring that knee in towards the earth, towards your right armpit even. Half happy baby. And then let's release that right leg long. Fold in the left leg, hug it in. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee, roll onto your right hip and bring that left leg down towards the earth. So coming into a supine twist here. The right hand can stay on the left leg. Option here to bend into your right knee and take hold of your right foot with your left hand, coming into cat's tail. Softening, coming towards the end of your practice, so winding down even more. And notice how you embody these feelings and sensations. Understanding the meridian pathways along the full length of your body. And the emotional functions of these meridians and the organs that they are connected to. Three more breaths here in cat's tail or supine twist. And if you are holding your foot, release your foot and then extend that leg long if you can. And then let's roll onto our back, hug that left leg in, that left knee towards your heart, and lift the sole of your foot, take hold of the outside edge of your foot, or you can wrap your peace fingers around your big toe option, and then bend into that knee and bring that knee in down towards the earth. Half happy baby, yogi's choice. Your right hand on top of your right leg here to hold that right leg down. Half happy baby. And then let's release that leg long, Coming into Shavasana. And if you have a dog handy, you can always use the dog as your bolster equivalent. Sorry, puppy. Or place a bolster under your knees if you wish. Perhaps creating a star shape with your arms and legs, a pentacle. Let's rest in Shavasana for a couple of moments here at the end of our practice. Yogis can stay here for as long as you want, depending on how much time you have available to you. Three more breaths here in Shavasana. And then when you're ready, begin to curl and uncurl your fingers and toes. Stretch out through your arms and legs. And then inhaling, really stretch out as if you're yawning. And then hug your fingers, hug your arms, hug your legs, hug it all in. And let's roll over onto your left side to rise up. Coming into your Supine. I haven't got a tiger here, it's my dog. And then rising up into your seat as you're ready. Hands together at your heart center. Take a full breath in through your nose, out through open mouth to wash out the breath. Inhale to prepare. Closing with Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And thank you. It's always a Sunday evening, I don't know why. Thank you everyone for practicing whole body yin with me. We'll be back next week for part 2 of the whole body series. I love the whole body practice. It's my favorite yin practice. So that's why I come back to it time and time again. So I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for joining me. Right, let me unmute you so you can say goodbye if you want to.